institutional change has got to come from, that law firms can affect, has got to come through going back to the law schools and pressuring them and telling them what you need in order to be able to compete and be more efficient. And it's not only a skills issue, it's also a motivation issue, which what Mr. Rajagopal mentioned, which is that, you know, when I talk to young advocates and they say, oh, I worked 14 hours yesterday, and I said, okay, how much of that time did you spend, you worked 14 hours, how many of those hours did you spend learning something? How many of those hours did you spend developing your career? Well, none, because I worked 14 hours. I said, okay, great. You know, if you want to be a junior advocate for the rest of your life, you keep coming in and working 14 hours and doing whatever you're told and nothing else. But if you want to be the guy that makes the other people work 14 hours a day, then you got to stay for the 15th hour, the 16th hour, and it's your profession, it's your career. You have to take control of it and work on bettering your skills. And I don't see a lot of junior advocates across all of the, you know, I mean, I have a lot of friends in other firms, a lot of junior advocates in other firms, so I'm not just talking about, you know, my own firm here, but, you know, I don't see that level of commitment being put in. I see people saying, I'm working too hard, I'm tired, I want to go home. You know, but that's the difference between the people that go out and start their own law firms eventually and the ones that never do, is the ones that never do don't put in that extra time. So somehow we have to instill in the juniors that they need to spend that extra time and make that commitment to their own careers.
Friends, in fact, the subject here was not opening up or asking there to come. The subject was business model for law firms management. So what I feel personally is that everybody here present would know how many of us know the law firms prevailing in India, real law firms. I'm not saying the law firms. Most of the law firms in India, you will find that they are sole proprietary. They are not the law firms. The one man starts a business and he gives the employment to 3, 4, 5, maybe 10 advocates, and that becomes a law firm. So this is basically because I had an opportunity to study when I went to London to study about the law firms there, and I've seen the model. They are the real law firms. They are about 100, 200 or maybe 500 persons working together, and they are not the lawyers only. Everybody knows that. They will find the company secretary, the chartered accountants, the financial. I happened to meet a law firm, a partner of them. Their representation was that litigation is a bad business for them. Just imagine that. And here we talk about the litigation only. Precisely. So litigation, they said that this is a bad business and we are having the litigation business total of the total revenue is 15% and would like to reduce it further to 10% so that we this law firm becomes viable. I happened to meet another guy who told me that, again a partner in, of a law firm. He told me that I happened to meet him and I asked him as to what is your expertise. He told me that I am expert in non-conventional energy resources management. Now this is not a lawyer's job. Here in India, we don't do these kind of jobs. And then he represented to me that he is an expert in advising the companies to stop the use of coal or other material and use non-conventional energy resources for producing energy. And this was his expertise. This was his field. He doesn't talk about the law. Of course, law is related at that time when opening up is there and when they have to establish the company, they will have to see the local laws where to establish the company. There, of course, they require it. In India, of course, if we talk about the business model, first we will have to decide whether we have the law firms. So if we have the law firms, let us have the business model for them. And business model can't be without paying up for the law graduates or the juniors who are coming to the profession every day. And now I must assure you, as I know and everybody knows here, that these law schools, Indian law, national law schools, are producing wonderful lawyers. and you meet them, you'll realize it, that after 5 years of a course, when they come to the profession, they are almost a lawyer. They of course would not be appearing in the court, they would be hesitating there, but they are knowledgeable and they are going out. We don't have the money to sustain them and retain them in India.
In fact, they are being paid better than I
Yes,
am. I'm telling you.
They are going out. They are not being retained in India, they are going abroad and they are being absorbed directly by the foreign law firms. So, if their business model in for the foreign law firms is working with paying up them, why can't we also have that kind of a perfect person? As my learned friend has said, that even the secretary gets half the pay what a junior lawyer is being paid in New York. So we require to have a model if we want a law firm in India. I am not advocating of opening up, I am not advocating for, but of course everybody sees it, there's changing in economic policies. Our capital is now started going out. Earlier it used to be the capital from the outside. And we require expertise for that. And we literally require a law firm in India and a real law firm. And that would be the day if we, and of course starting the law firm, as my learned friend has said, would be difficult for him because he is saying that he has started a law firm 8 months back, 10 months back. Now the difficulty is again whether the egg comes first or the hen comes first. Because either you have to start a law firm after investing some money in it, or you start a law firm, wait for the business and then you further nourish itself. So business model has to be there and we'll have to see the business model. And of course in India we are still not with the law, with the Bar Councils of India Act and Advocates Act, we can't have the partnerships. Though in England and in New York we have LLPs, limited legal partnerships. We don't have the partnerships in India amongst the lawyers and lawyers with chartered accountants and engineers and others. So before that, if we are talking about the law firms, then we'll have to see that also.
Yeah, precisely the limited liability partnership, the 3 institutes, CA, ICAA and CS, they have in principle, they have all agreed, only our bar association, because then they say that we can have an umbrella whereby you can have these things, so that rightly as he was pointing out in UK, where you get everything under one roof.
Yes.
I think maybe because we have been in the stage of family-oriented business, and maybe a time has come, need of the hour with the globalization, to corporatize the practice. I think that distinction may come in the long run. Corporatization of the services. I think that's
And
the
we
area where
and we have
we are
this
moving towards.
and we have the scope for that. When Mittal can buy our seller, and when
Precisely.
we can buy any law firm in anywhere in the world.
Why not?
If we have the law firm here, there is no difficulty with that. Well, I don't like to.
Friends, I am Roshanal Bhattar, barrister, senior advocate. I had the pleasure of working in a firm while doing chambers after being called to the bar in the year 1964. I was called to the bar by Mr. Griffith Jones was the head of the chambers. There were 12 barristers working in that chamber. I was attached by the council in Inner Temple people with Mr. Henry Ponan. He has of course died. Now my working in that firm was really a firm. People, they were, some people were doing criminal work, some people were doing civil work, some people were admiralty work, some divorce division. There are so many type of work they were dealing with the litigation. I have seen those people working and also dealing with the litigation, and they were registered firms, number of firms. So this is one aspect of the case which we don't have this sort of firms here. I don't know about, because I work in Chandigarh. For the last more than 40 years I have been working there. Chandigarh, do come to Supreme Court. Now here in Delhi or maybe in Bombay, I don't know, there may be real few firms, but most of the firms which are working there, we don't have in Chandigarh as yet, but they are like associates, as the learned friend he was telling, just associates, they are not registered. If you have a registered firm, you can't have, that is the charter accountant, this thing, that thing. This sort of thing is not allowed by the Bar Council. This is the difficulty. Even senior members, senior advocate can't be member of a registered firm. You can't act, you can't plead. Even in our High Court, they have framed a rule that an advocate or a firm, that is, he can act, but not a senior member can't be the, but not in England or anywhere else. So this sort of restrictions are there in India for working. Now whatever we got working here in Chandigarh, we got only few people have started, two brothers joining together and working like that, family business as my learned friend has stated. So this is the concept we are having of the, in China I had the pleasure of visiting few years back to study the whole system of legal working there. And I happened to visit few firms in Shanghai especially, leaving aside Beijing. I went to one firm, more than 100 persons were working in that firm. And they were dealing with different aspects of the case, that is admiralty, this thing, that thing. There are so many things. So this sort of work we are lacking. Not in this country. I don't think as yet we have any sort of firms to that extent. So my advice is that first of all you get the Bar Council rule changed if you want to compete with the foreign firms, because you can't of your own, as the learned friend was saying here, senior people are happy that charging heavy fee. Why I will join you or help the youngsters? What for? When I am charging 1 lakh rupee, 5 lakh rupee for a case, what is the fun for me to join? When I can earn fabulous amount, crores, Harris Shelway and this thing, that much better here as we are in Chandigarh. You see? So that is what I say, you got to get the change in the Bar Council rules. If you want to be successful as compared to, or you want to compete with the foreign firms. Thank you.
Hello, sir. Sir.
Please.
My name is Tarsem Gandotra, Advocate, Delhi High Court. So, I understand many law firms are existing already in Bombay and they are doing partnership business. And as you, Puneet Sahab ne abhi bola hai, it is not allowed in India. How they are working in Bombay as a partnership firms?
I think then we'll have to take some legal action against them.
No,
That is the whole
very
thing.
much Mullah and Mullah, Little and Company and Billawala and Associates, they are partnership
You
firms.
see, actually, even the website is not allowed, you know. That website of the law firms
I am
are not
hearing for
allowed
the
as
first
per the
time
Bar
here.
Council of India, because we can't
Yes,
advertise.
sir, I am hearing for the first time.
Correct,
Yeah.
correct.
No, no,
So the complaints are there with the Bar Council.
no, how they are working in Bombay. Bombay mein to,
Get their name appear in the newspaper.
Bombay mein to, sir, there are 150 firms. In Bombay, I understand there are more than 50 firms. They are
Please
partnership
maintain
firms.
silence, please.
Under what law they are prevailing and functioning there?
In fact, let me also enlighten this august audience here, because in Delhi I know, few years back, I think 3 or 4 years back, there were a lot of law firms over the websites. There were complaints against them, actions were taken, and they were off the hooks. Like now they are not. At that time I know their website was not working.
They are
Because,
functioning.
no, I can't say what about tomorrow, but I know the fact 3 years back.
Sir, they are existing in the name of firms in India. I want to say to you, I want to submit to your good self, as you just told to everyone here, that partners are not allowed in India to do the business or to do the profession.